Welcome to Teaching Year 7 English. Today I will be teaching 3 strategies in teaching pre-reading and pre-writing. I will start in the same clip. I will start with strategies in teaching pre-reading. Firstly, good morning, students. Today we will be looking at a reading from a text in our reading textbook, and we have discussed earlier about the characters in the story. And in our reading today, you will be looking at this reading and you will be identifying the characters in the story. Okay, and especially the main character and those all of the characters in the story. Okay, before I give you these handouts, I'd like you to look at the reading and then quickly you're going to look at the story, the title of the story and the picture in the story, and you can look at what the title tells you about the story. And in this reading today, it is a custom story from Solomon Islands that I have for you in the handouts. And with the custom stories, I would like you to ask question about if any one of you could recall, because I know custom stories we all of us have custom story from the places that we come from, and I would like you to recall of a story that you heard, a custom story that you have heard, or even a story that any of your friends or you might come across as you read from any reading of the Solomon Island stories. And I'd like you to share after any volunteer student. I'll ask you to voluntarily share. At this time, I'll give you 5 minutes to share anyone to share a custom story to us. Now at this time, students share a story to the class. Okay, thank you for sharing your story to the class. Now I'll hand you this photocopied papers, the readings. I'd like you to skim quickly. You skim and scan the reading passage to answer these questions. Who are the characters in the story? And who is the main character or protagonist in the story? And the last question for you to think about whilst reading the passage is this story has a happy ending or a sad one? Okay, so this is our pre-reading exercise. Thank you very much, and I will move on to teaching the strategies in teaching pre-writing. Now, welcome Year 7 to teaching pre-writing. Now, I'd like us to, in our writing this morning, I'd like you to look at the topic and I'd like you to discuss in groups. Our topic for this morning is we're going to look at discuss the impacts of logging operation in Solomon Islands. And I'd like you to talk about the topic in groups. I'd like you to divide in 4 groups, and I will have 5 minutes to do that. You discuss, talk about the topic, what exactly is the question asking you to do. Is it asking you to discuss? Is it asking you to describe? Is it asking you to report? Okay, but in our case here, the question is asking us to discuss the topic, discuss the impacts of logging. Now, I'll give you 5 minutes to do that. During these 5 minutes, students are discussing actively in their groups. Okay, now I know you have discussed the topic, and I'd like you, students, to voluntarily present your ideas that you have discussed. Now we have 5 groups here. I'd like to hear from each of your groups, Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, Group 4, and Group 5, about the topic, what you have discussed about the topic. Now at this time, students, they present their discussion to the teacher, and all of the students share listening and discussing together. Thank you everyone for participating in the group discussion. Now we'll look at the next step that we're going to look is a brainstorm. Now with the brainstorming, I'd like you to think about all the negative impacts of logging operation in Solomon Islands, since our topic is on discussion on the negative impacts of logging operation in Solomon Islands. Now at this time, students will, a lot of impacts will be listed here. There are few I have listed here as an example. And then when all the listings appear on the board, like this one here, what we're going to do, okay, now students, I leave them to discuss and put their views into the listing above here, okay. And then after they do the listing, what we're going to do is we're going to categorize the ideas from the brainstorm accordingly. Now we look at the group. We are going to group the similar ideas under the heading that covers the related ideas. For example, of all the lists that we have here, I have categorized the one big heading for the similar ideas here under one heading, environmental impact, and then I put cutting of trees, which leads to extinction of wildlife and vegetation. And then another point under is longer periods to grow trees. Those are environmental impact. And under the pollution, under land, river, and sea pollution, I put pollution, and then as the heading for point number 2. Okay, and then point number 3, we have the social impact, where we have 2 points under land dispute, fighting over royal payments. Okay, and then when we are done with this one, I'd like you, now it will be very easy to talk about what we're going to write. Here, when we have established the points we're going to write about, we're going to write our thesis statement. Okay, before we do the research into the points that we have, we do the research in the library or internet or books. We form our thesis statement first, the purpose of our writing, and that is the thesis. Now, with the 3 points we have, point number 1, we have environmental impact, we have pollution, and we have point number 3, social impact. What we're going to do is we're going to write the thesis, and then we said this essay. Now remember, this is not an announcement to make. We have this is in this essay. It will be a signpost for the readers to know about the purpose of our writing or what the writing will be about. So this essay will discuss environmental impacts, pollution, and social impacts of logging operation in Solomon Islands. And we'll stop here and we'll continue with our writing in our next session. Thank you very much.